The Shepnaz Podcast begins now.
Welcome to the Shepnaz Podcast. This is a special edition of the Shepnaz Podcast. We're giving you a bonus episode, and I am here with Pastor Brett Dillinger because we've got something exciting coming up for the kids. In fact, a couple exciting things coming up for Kids Men, and we wanted to just take the time to talk about it. We've had so many things going on recently that we thought, you know what, we're just going to dive in and do its own little special episode. So this is a weekend edition of the Shepnaz Podcast. Welcome in, Pastor Brett.
Thank you, Joe. I feel so honored to be a part of this special episode.
Yes, there's only been a couple since our beginning, so this truly is special.
Yeah, I'm a lucky guy.
All right, so what is happening that all of a sudden we decided we needed to do a special edition podcast?
Oh, so glad you asked, Joe. Like you said, we got a couple of big things coming up. You guys know about the Pumpkin Smash and Bash, which we've been talking about for a little while now, and it's coming up very, very soon, this Saturday, October 26th, from 4 to 6:30. So it's getting to be crunch time. It's happening soon. If you haven't, sent out a verbal or a text invitation to every person in your contact list, there's still time to do that. But very excited. It's coming up very soon.
And to that end, there's a Facebook event on the Shepherd Facebook page. If you go to facebook.com/Shepnaz, yes, facebook.com/Shepnaz, that'll take you to the Shepherd Facebook page. If you're not familiar with it, most of you already are, but there's an event there. Plus there's some video clips of things that we've got kind of prepared for that as well. But we've kind of been waiting in the background. There's some things that we've been wanting to do with the Pumpkin Smash and Bash. So we weren't sure if we were going to be able to, but now we can kind of feel confident that we're going to be able to do that. So what are some of the things that haven't been advertised up to this point that are going to happen? Yeah.
So far we haven't really, actually, if you look at the graphic that we had used when I first originally made the graphic, it said that there was going to be a campfire, but we haven't been talking about it much because we've had this burn ban, Joe, which has recently been lifted. So, what's a celebration in the fall time without a campfire and some s'mores? So that's something that I'm definitely looking forward to, enjoying that with some friends and just providing a space where people can come and kind of talk and just like enjoy the beautiful weather. Hopefully, that's enough of the prayers for rain at this point. I think it's time to pray for sunshine.
Well, you can pray for rain right up until Saturday, and then it can resume after that, but just not for Saturday.
Right. Make sure you leave that prayer request off your Saturday prayer list. Very good. But looking forward to that. I don't think that I've been talking about face painting much either, which, like, if you've ever been to a kids event, you know that there's going to be a line pretty much as far as you have room for face painting, because everyone wants to do face paint. And I wonder, Joe, if there are just going to be lots of little pumpkins running around at the Pumpkin Smash and Bash. I feel like that might be a fan favorite for the face paint.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a popular one.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to be having a campfire. Now, you mentioned s'mores. So is that happening, I take it?
Yes, there will be s'mores for sure. And like, obviously it doesn't get much better than some chocolate, some marshmallow, and a graham cracker all brought together in one. I think there's a famous movie scene, maybe in Pastor Rob's favorite movie, The Sandlot, about s'mores.
Yes.
But yeah, definitely. Go ahead.
Well, we've mentioned, I think, in the past in some of the advertisements, but also Sergeant Coffee is going to be there. So you might want to talk about that a little bit. Yeah,
Sergeant Coffee is going to be there a few weeks back. I guess it was over a month ago now, when we had Biker Sunday. If you were here for Biker Sunday, they were there at the Gahanna campus of Shepherd, and they were giving out free coffee then, which they are going to be doing again at the Pumpkin Smash and Bash. And I've gone to visit them a couple of times recently myself, Joe, and I got to say, they're just as good as they were the last time I had them. So the adults can enjoy some coffee. I know it's going to be later in the evening, so there's going to be hot chocolate available too, which adults and kids alike can enjoy. So excited for that, for sure.
Nice. All right. Anything else you want to touch on the Pumpkin Smash and Bash before we go to the next exciting thing?
Let's see. I am really excited about the pumpkin launching. I know that we just did a water balloon launch with the back to school splash, but I have pumpkins of all variable sizes, Joe, and I can't wait to see which kid/adult can launch them the furthest and see them crack open. That's going to be a lot of fun. And it's also not too late to sign up to volunteer. If that's something that you would like to do as a way of giving to the church, we would love to have you. There's lots of needs still. We actually have a few that have been filled so far. So you can either reach out to me or podcast at shepnaz.org. And there's also a link to sign up on our website. So it's not too late if you'd like to do that. We'd love to have you be there and help us out that day.
Yeah, on the website, if you're on the homepage, you go to shepnaz.org and then slide on down to where it says Ready to Serve. If you click on that, that'll get you to the spot where you can find those opportunities. All right, so in addition to all those things that are going on, I think you've got some music that's going to be playing in the background, and I heard there was going to be sack races.
Oh, yeah,
so
sack races for
a lot
sure.
of it. And a hayride. Of course, some of these things we've already talked about, but just as a reminder to everyone, the things that are going to be happening at that time. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Also, I don't know how much we've talked about this so far, but one of the things that's going to be there, I'm calling it a thankful wall. And kind of the idea behind that is part of what this event is supposed to be is inviting people from the community, whether it be friends that we know or acquaintances that we've just met, inviting them to celebrate all the things that God is doing in our lives. This is, with Thanksgiving coming up soon, this is a time where thankfulness is something that's on the brain. And I think that it's important for us as children in God's family to give thanks and show appreciation for all the wonderful things that He's done in our lives in this season. And I think that's something that we can even invite others who may not even know Jesus yet into, and say like, hey, even if you haven't given your life to Christ, like the Lord works in prevenient ways before we even know Him, before we even love Him. We can give Him credit and say, thank you, God, for all of the wonderful things and the gifts that we have been given. So bring your friends. And I'm really excited to see that wall at the end. I think it'll be kind of a cool storybook of all of the really neat things that God is doing in our community. So looking forward to that too.
Have you heard the buzz about our upcoming Pumpkin Smash and Bash? Mark your calendars for the last Saturday of October and get ready for an afternoon packed with family-friendly fun. Join us for pumpkin bowling, pumpkin launching, and a hayride that the entire family can enjoy. There will be tons of activities, a bake sale open to everyone, and one of my personal favorites, sack races. Bring your friends along, compete together, and let's have an absolute bash. If that wasn't enough, the Sergeant Coffee Company will be on site to provide free coffee and hot chocolate. Ready to join the fun? The Pumpkin Smash and Bash is October 26th from 4 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. at Shepherd Church of the Nazarene, located at 425 South Hamilton Road, Gahanna, Ohio, 43230.
After we've been talking about the Pumpkin Smash and Bash, there's something that's coming even before that, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Starting this Wednesday, October 23rd, we're doing something new for kids from kindergarten to 5th grade. So if you are in the elementary class on Sunday morning, or rather, I guess if your kids are in the elementary class on Sunday morning, this invitation is extended to you. It's a new thing that we're doing called Wonder. I'm really excited about it. And it's a fair bit different from at least what we do on Sunday mornings. Kind of the atmosphere of it all is going to be different. It's in a different place. We're doing it in one of the classrooms just down the hall. And it's, like I said, it's very different. And kind of the environment and the purpose behind this is giving a sacred set aside space for kids to be with, listen to, and talk to the Lord. On Sundays, we lean into teaching about God and telling stories about God and about ways that Jesus did miraculous things and healings and all of His great teachings, and even teachings in the Old Testament and the epistles too. But this Wonder class that we're starting up here soon on the 23rd is a little bit different from that, and that there's going to be a short time of storytelling at the beginning, but then there's a long period of time that's focused on response and just giving kids the space and the quiet to just listen to God or talk to God and just be in his presence, which even like as an adult is hard to designate time specific to that. I think a lot of times we see church or like, I guess going to church as you're going to hear a message and maybe learn something today. And even I find myself praying for that like at school chapels and on Sunday mornings that God would teach us something about himself today. But the Christian life is about so much more than just learning facts and figures about God, but it's about a real relationship and spending time communing with the Father. And so I am just really excited about being able to provide like a new space that is specific for kids and specifically for doing this really important part of our Christian walk.
That sounds really exciting. It's certainly different than some of the things that we've seen in the past. This isn't just another time to try to have another activity just to get the kids all riled up or anything. This is actually experiential with the Father and to give them the opportunity to see how that's modeled and to be able to participate in that. Yeah,
absolutely. And it's like I said, so go ahead.
I was just going to ask you, so this starts on this coming Wednesday.
Yeah.
And what time and where should they go?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question, Joe. So the time that we're meeting is starting at 6:30 and ending at 7:30. It's going to be about an hour, and it's in classroom. Oh, no, Joe, I forgot which classroom. It's either 203 or 206. It's the one right next to the preschool classroom in that hallway just past the glass doors. And again, that's Wednesday nights starting October 23rd from 6:30 to 7:30. So we'll find you. We'll make sure to flag you down in the hallway beforehand.
So
make sure you get there.
Go through the glass doors.
Yes.
Keep walking, and there's going to be a door open, and you're going to be there, right?
Yeah.
All right, that sounds good.
Right, that's your direction.
All right. If you happen to walk into the Central Complex, because that's where you're used to going, it will look a little different to you because chances are the youth are going to be meeting at that time in the Central Complex. So
that's right.
You're going to be going through the glass doors down, well, not through the glass doors, but past the glass doors and down the hallway, and Brett will meet you there. Yep. Anything else you'd like to share before we close up this special episode?
Just that I'm really excited about this. And I know that it's a little bit different from things that we're used to. Again, I talked about how we lean into teaching a lot, but also like we could admit that things are going to look different from like Sunday mornings when you see kids ministry taking place. You see dodgeballs and basketballs and kids running around. And Wonder is about kind of a different, like I said, a different atmosphere and a different space. And the reason that I want to have it in a separate location as opposed, or like aside from the fact that youth is taking place at the same time in the Central Complex where we usually are, is that I want, like, subconsciously, I want kids to recognize that there's something different that's taking place here. I got this idea from a book that I had read, and there are like a lot of really cool stories about the ways that they implemented this. But I want kids to know that this is a special place for them. And like parents, if you're listening to this and you're thinking like my kid is wild and crazy, they're only suitable for that wild and crazy environment that Sunday morning is, like, I would just encourage you to give it a try. I think that kids, I mean, I will say that there are sometimes you expect kids to be able to do things that they fail to do, but there are also plenty of times when we like underestimate kids as much as we overestimate them. And I have seen this done before, even with preschoolers, which is going below the age bracket that we're even addressing. So, and I really think that kids are looking, even if they aren't saying it, I think that they're looking for a place where they can kind of be refreshed and really enjoy times of rest and communing with the Father. And like I said, this is something I'm really excited about, and I think the kids are going to love it. It may take a couple of weeks, but I think it'll be a good thing.
Sounds great. All right. Well, Brett, we want to thank you for breaking in with a special edition of the Shepnaz Podcast, and we want to encourage everyone to be checking things out this Wednesday night at 6:30 p.m. and be going to the hallway, in the front hallway, past the glass doors, and look for Brett. And then this coming Saturday on October 26th from 4 to 6:30 p.m., we're going to be out in the field. There's going to be all kinds of stuff for the Pumpkin Smash and Bash. So make sure that you take advantage of both those opportunities this week and bring a friend.
Yep, we're excited to have you.
For Pastor Brett, I'm Joe. Have a great day. This podcast is a production of the Shepherd Church of the Nazarene, Gahanna, Ohio. Email to podcast@shepnaz.org and let us know what you think.